been a rough couple of days for these poor critters. We are in day 2 after Hurricane Florence has passed through. We are getting a little bit of a break in the weather, but there's more rain on the way. We're going to talk a little bit about how we were affected by Hurricane Florence. So a lot of people had emailed us and left us comments and wanted to know how the chickens fared during Hurricane Florence, and they made it all right. Our biggest concern was with the wind gusts. We were getting wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour, and our biggest concern was that this mobile coop was going to either flip over or that the tarp was going to come off and expose the birds to the elements. Now during the day our birds free range, so the safest place for them is wherever they decide to go hide, which was either in the woods or under the vehicles, under the trailer, or under the porch, and they stayed pretty safe that way. They just got really wet. But at nighttime they're locked up in this coop, and really they're at the mercy of the wind and the stability of this coop. We really didn't have a good solution for that, so we just kept an eye on it, and luckily they made it through okay. So many of you guys may recognize this. It's our pig shelter. A lot of people are asking about the pigs and how they're doing. Well, we did find a customer that took all 3 pigs before the storm. So the pigs were successfully sold before the storm, and we didn't have to really deal with them during the storm. But as you can tell, the wind did toss this around a little bit, so it's probably a good thing that we did sell them off before the storm. So the solar panels made it through okay. We were a little bit concerned about the wind gusts and them being able to pick up these pallets and flip them over and damage them. 1 minute. You too. Okay, let's go shoot a video now. So like I was saying, the solar panels were a concern of ours. We were afraid that the wind gusts were going to possibly pick up these pallets and break the panels. They are secured down pretty well. We did debate whether or not to take them down entirely or to cover them up, but that would cause problems with our batteries not being able to charge unless, of course, we use the generator or something like that. So we decided to go ahead and just leave them and see how they fared, and they ended up turning out, it ended up being all right. There was no damage under the panels, just a little bit of debris on them. But they will be better secured, even more secured than they are whenever we put them in their permanent home. Our emergency radio went off just about every single hour on the hour with alerts talking about flood watches in and around our area. Luckily, we live in an area where we're on the side of a mountain, so we don't have as much issues with flooding or flash flooding in the area, or dams breaking, or levees, which is a problem in a lot of the lower lying areas. Our biggest concern here is going to be with ground saturation and with drainage, such as with this road here, which is starting to erode away. All this erosion here goes down to the lowest part of our property, which is where our seep spring is. That's where we get our drinking water. And the biggest concern with that is that it was going to flood down there and contaminate our spring, because all of this, any kind of surface contaminants that are on the ground, if that floods down into that area, that could cause some health issues for us. Luckily though, as of right now, there are no issues with flooding, but we are calling for another week of rain on top of all this rain we just got. And I do need to stress the fact that this has been the wettest summer that we have ever had here. Over the last 3 months, I would say we only had less than 10 days where there was a full day of sun, and it rained just about every other day. So we have had a really rough summer as far as rain, and the ground is severely saturated. So when you hear reports of people saying that the Carolinas and Tennessee and that kind of area are concerned about too much water, too much rain, there is a real true concern about that because of the overly wet summer that we already had. I'll take you down to the spring and we'll show you that. So this is the lowest part of our property. This is where our natural seep spring is. You can see there's a lot of water that's moving through here, but luckily it's not submerged in water, and that was like our main concern. Like I said, we are calling for another week of rain, and who knows how much beyond that, and hopefully that this doesn't flood down here, because it could be problematic for this particular spring with all the contaminants going in here and debris, and possibly it clogging up our well pump. But something to keep an eye on. Right now it's not an issue. The water is diverting around it and going down this creek. So one of the other concerns that we had with the oversaturation of the ground and with the high winds was trees getting blown over. Now this is one that had fallen yesterday about 6 a.m. I heard it fall. It did create this little widowmaker here, so that could spring up if we end up cutting this log. So we just need to be careful of that. Whenever the weather does clear up, we'll get in here with the chainsaw and tidy this all up. But we still need to be concerned with some of the trees that are close to the trailer. There was a death somewhat near our area with a little baby where a tree had fallen on the trailer. We do need to be wary of that because there are trees that are somewhat close to the trailer and the ground is still saturated, and we are calling for more rain. So it's just something that we're going to have to continue to monitor. This is the access point to our septic tank, and something that a lot of people don't think about is the drain field, and when the ground's overly saturated, it being able to absorb a lot of the water from the septic tank. It is something that we are going to need to continue to monitor, but right now we are having no issues with this. So before the storm, we put away 40 gallons of water plus two 55-gallon drums that we have behind the trailer. This was just in case our water became contaminated down at the seep spring. We still might have to dip into it, we don't know, but we put this aside just so that we would have some clean drinking water to get us through until we could hopefully clean out the spring. Now, I just want to stress that we do use a Berkey water filter for our own drinking purposes. We use that for all of our drinking water, but having filtered water, nice clean water that hasn't been sitting down there in the muck for a while was definitely a priority for us. So we wanted to make sure that we had a backup plan. Depending on which report you read, there are over 600,000 people without electricity right now. This is the battery shed to our off-grid solar system. When we designed this system, we designed it for 3 days of autonomy, and we have been 4 days without any sun whatsoever. And just now on the 5th day, we're starting to get some sun, and our batteries are up to 97%. During those 4 days, because we are so frugal with our electricity, our batteries only got as low as 74%. So we could last a very, very long time without even having to run the generator to charge the batteries. And this is the exact reason that we have an off-grid solar system for situations such as these, for situations such as hurricanes. And this system performed perfectly. This is why we have it, and we love this system. Now I'm going to take you inside and show you what we were doing during those 4 days without any sun. I don't know if you can see this or if you've noticed me during this video scratching, but man, the mosquitoes are crazy. Another issue with having a lot of excess water, a lot of standing waters, the mosquitoes go nuts. So we're going to go inside. So during those 4 days that we were trapped inside, I have been working on my very first art commission. This is Peanut the Rescue Squirrel, and she's almost complete. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys had skipped over that last video that I had done where it was drawing, painting, sketching, how we learn new skills, because you thought, what the heck does that have to do with homesteading or being self-sufficient? It has absolutely everything to do with homesteading and being self-sufficient. A lot of you guys who probably skipped over that video are wanting to know how it is that we earn an income. How is it that we are able to stay home and not work a 9-to-5 job and manage to live in a remote area? I am showing you. This is one skill and one stream of income that I'm starting to build right now, and I'm sharing this journey with you. Now, right now, I'm not charging a whole lot for my commissions. I'm charging a very low amount. This project right here so far has taken me 16 hours to do this, and for what I charge, it ends up in being like $2.50 an hour for what it's going to take to complete that. But I'm just beginning, and so as I get more skilled in this area and as I get more commissions, I will increase my prices and then hopefully have a viable business 6 months or even a year down the line. And I also hope that you guys go over to my new Instagram page, which is Guildbrook Art. I am showing my progress on there, and you guys can see my commissions on there. And if you guys are interested in getting one done yourself, you can reach out to me on Instagram. That's Guildbrook Art. Look at all this fungus. You can tell how wet it's been. There's just tons of mushrooms around here. I don't know which ones are edible and which ones aren't, but I wish I did, because we would be feasting like kings right now. It actually reminds me though, I need to go check on my shiitake mushroom log, see how that one's doing. Who knows, it may have bloomed. We did bring it with us from our last house. But that about wraps it up for our Hurricane Florence update. We will keep you posted if anything does change going forward. Like I said, we are calling for more rain. Temperatures are starting to drop. We are needing to get ready for winter here. We have our wood down here. Some of it's covered, some of it's not, but we need to fill up this woodshed and get this ready for winter as well. So you're going to start seeing us doing that. And actually we started clearing for the house, and we actually changed its location again. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, stick with us. We're going to share with you our journey as it unfolds. Thanks for watching. Well, it's wet, but no mushrooms. Not sure what those are. Maybe those were mushrooms at one point. Yeah. Nothing.